This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always delighted to be joined with Spencer Oliver. Here in the Shard, we're very, very high up. But you're back again, mate. You've been putting in some serious graft this weekend, mate. Just tell us about it, mate.
I have, mate. I've put in some serious graft. Obviously, Derek Chisora and Joyce fight week. We'll get into that in a bit. And we're straight from there. Oh, mate, was you at the O2? Was you
Yeah, I was at the O2, yeah.
Right, so did you drive there?
I drove there, I did, yeah.
How long did it take to get out?
I didn't leave till because I was working after. I didn't leave till 2 or 3 in the morning.
I didn't get home till 3. I left at 12. But to get out of that arena is an absolute nightmare.
Where did you park?
I parked in. So we had some. Sorry, mate. Yeah. We had some VIP parking bit at the back, but it didn't make any difference. Okay. So it was easy to get in. And it was right by the arena, so we literally walked into the back door, come out, but then you obviously still got the cars. But it was I sat there. The reason I'm telling this story is I sat there for 2 hours in traffic trying to get out of the O2 with a smile on my face, mate, from what I just witnessed with Derek Chisora and Joyce. Look, we always knew it was going to be a bit of an old bar brawl, if you like both guys, leaving it all in the ring. But that was absolutely insane, man. The way that it went, the knockdown in the 9th round, the way Derek Chisora hung on, Rocky style sort of movie, wasn't it? You know what I mean? We was there, everyone edge of the seats and all that. And the people that scream about, yeah, that's it, Derek should be retiring now. And by the way, I was championing that, I was voicing that. And even when I got in the ring to interview him on Saturday, I went to, look, 48-0, I know you wanted to get 50, but Del, you just beat the Olympic silver medalist, Joyce, go out on a high. Wouldn't that be good? Straight away, he shut me down, went, no, 50 fights, I'm going Manchester. I went, it's the man's choice, you know what I mean? And one thing I will say for the people who go, no, this is a joke, he should be retired now and everything else, I go, I'd like to see him retire, but if he's not, I go, we live in a world that's very, money's very hard to come by, and people, when they buy tickets, they want to be entertained. That guy entertains you. You get value for money when you go and see when you go and see Derek Chisora. You get value for money, mate, and we got that on Saturday night. That was an insane fight, and the undercard was great as well, man. Ryan Garner beating Archie Sharp, what a performance that was, and that was an absolute barnstormer. Seeing Adam Hamed on the bill as well, and young Dennis McCann winning my old title as well against Baluta in an absolute barnstormer as well. No, he weren't as young as me, mate. No, I'd retired actually by the time he'd won that. Was he 23? Yeah. So it was a brilliant night of boxing, to be fair.
Yeah. So let's get into Chisora Joyce. With that fight, I think a lot of the connotations were it's whoever's got the most left in a fight like that, between obviously two fighters that have clearly shown signs of decline. But still, yeah. Even though there is, it's not the best version of them, but it still does entertain.
Do you know what? And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. When you look at that and you go two fighters that maybe past their best, but they're going to deliver and put it all in the ring. That's why I go with Derek Chisora. When you look at that, you go, right, it's 48 fights now. 48 fights in. We know he's going to have 2 more fights. Where do I want to see him go? I see where I want to see him go. I want to see him go in with Deontay Wilder. Because he's talked about the best boxing, the best, and in modern eras and everything else. And he wants to box every single one of the best fighters. With Deontay Wilder's clearly on decline. We saw that against Zhang Zhang last time. Saw it against Joseph Parker. Last time out, he looked terrible. Got flattened. You go, they're in that sort of fit position, where people would like to see that. That could be a great undercard fight to say the winner of Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois versus Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. But Derek Chisora, Deontay Wilder on the undercard, it's an interesting fight. Do you know what I mean? He deserves that. He's earned that. He's not going to retire. Some of the people that are going to say, I want to see him retire. Well, he's not. He's having 2 more. And for me, that would be a good fight for him, because Wilder seemed to show wear and tear as well.
So you still would be confident that Derek deserves a place, I guess, now still competing at a very good level?
Well, he just beat Joyce, didn't he? And you can't say you weren't entertained. So, look, I champion the fact that I would like to see Derek retire. I've made no secret of that. When he has been a great ambassador for the sport. I think he's been in there with the who's who of boxing, going back to 2011, 2012 when he boxed Klitschko. I mean, that's how far back we're going. Do you know what I mean? He's still delivering, still fighting everyone. Dillian White and Tyson Fury. Everyone. Joseph Parker. So many names on his resume that you look at it and I go, I want to see you retire, Del. Can't be for money, because you've got to have a load of money in the bank. But it's for himself. He's saying it's all about finding when a boxer retires, he loses his identity and he has to fit into life as a normal civilian, and sometimes that's difficult for a fighter to do. They can't give up that buzz. Like Derek made no secret there of, it was his 10th fight at the O2, and this was his home of boxing, and it was an emotional week for him, and it's going to be emotional time because he knew it was the last time he's ever going to box there. He made no secret of that, and I saw the emotions in his face after when we spoke about that. But you know what? For him to give up boxing, it's going to be difficult for him. He's one of them rare breed fighters that are going to struggle with life after boxing. So let him enjoy his time, man. You know what I mean? Let him enjoy his time. Let him have his other couple of fights. Let him get the names that he wants to do. This, God forbid, please God, he doesn't get hurt in the process. But with Del Boy, he can look after himself. So, let him do what he wants to do.
Absolutely. I did want to stick on the topic of heavyweight division. A couple of weeks ago on the Talk Boxing podcast of yourself and Simon Jordan, comments that were sort of made and sort of asked to Eddie Hearn and several boxing sort of pundits, I guess, was Simon was talking about AJ having PTSD potentially when he takes on someone like Daniel Dubois, or who's arguably probably the heaviest hitter that he's faced since New York, you could argue. I suppose when it comes to them comments, do you think that there is possibility that if the AJ does get hit, that he could revert back to sort of that way?
Well, you never know, do you, until the situation happens, you know what I mean? But AJ's in a very, very good place at the moment. Ben Davison has been great for him, he's had that real rebuilding process. He's regained the confidence that was once missing. He's always had the physicalities, but I think that he'd lost a lot of confidence in his own ability. He's got that back, he's had some good wins, and he's in the, possibly the form of his life right now, mentally and physically. Daniel Dubois, I think the loss to Alexander Usyk was the moulding of him. That was the fight that made him, because he recognised, actually, I can compete at this sort of level. And he teamed up with Don Charles, who's done a great job with him. Don said, look, I'm not working on the physicalities, I'm working on the psychological side, the mental side, like making him believe in himself. And I've seen that progress. And that makes him a dangerous fighter. I think that, Anthony Joshua will obviously start a big favourite going into that one. He has to. But Daniel Dubois has the capability to take him out because he's very heavy-handed, very explosive, and he fights with his heart on his sleeve. He won't give a shit. He will go in there and he will give it a go. And that makes him dangerous because Joshua's got to approach it carefully, strategically, because if he gets it wrong, Dubois' got the ability to take him out. So it's a great fight. It's a fantastic, dangerous fight for Joshua, for sure.
I was going to say, when it comes to the danger, and I said that it's probably the hardest hitter, do you think Dubois has the best chance of anyone he could have faced post-Ruiz of really sort of knocking him out, I guess?
Definitely, 1,000,000%. Dubois is a dangerous fighter, mate. He's got a lot of natural attributes as a boxer. He's very explosive, very athletic, heavy-handed, lets his hands go. He will roll the dice. Hrgovic last time out, look at what he done to Hrgovic. He wouldn't leave him alone, mate. It was just non-stop. So Joshua's got to be on top form for sure.
Just before we do finish off, I did have to ask about this weekend in Barnsley, Callum Simpson, Zak Chelli. Yeah, exciting fight for that.
Absolutely, looking forward to it, mate. It's a coming-of-age fight, obviously, for Callum Simpson. Spoke to him about this and said, listen, mate, this is the fight that sort of determines who you are. This tells us about your character. There's a lot of hype around you, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of talk, not just British and Commonwealth champions, but bigger than that, European world titles. There's a lot of talk surrounding you, a lot of buzz surrounding you, but you have to go into these fights to deliver. We know what Zak Chelli is, we know what he will deliver. Spoke to Zak actually, and Zak said, I didn't want my home advantage. He said, I'm the type of guy that feeds off going to the other guy's backyard because I've got no pressure on me, and I like upsetting the apple cart. So they're both in that sort of spot, but I think for Callum Simpson, if he's as good as I think he is, and I do believe that he is, I think he is a special talent, then he should get the job done on Saturday night for sure. And like I say, he's the type of guy, he's like looking forward to it, like boxing in front of his home crowd, homecoming, Barnsley FC, a dream of his as a child. All of that, taking that into consideration, he's going to take it there. It's going to be a tough night, obviously, for Zak Chelli, for sure. But he's dangerous, isn't he, Zak Chelli? Against Jack Cullen last time out. Wasn't expected to win that one. Cullen was on a little bit of a run, and Chelli took the play away from him. When he gets into a rhythm, it's difficult to break. So, very, very interesting fight. Looking forward to Caroline Dubois, actually, on the undercard as well. She comes up against a tough South American girl, the WBC interim title. She comes through that. Katie Taylor being the champion, boy, all of a sudden we've got a fight on her hands. So, a lot on the line for Caroline Dubois as well, and that's a good fight, man, because her opponent is very, very tough. So they will meet head on, and as well, that's great. And Stephen McKenna as well versus Laws as well. That's going to be a great fight as well. Really looking forward to that one. That was going to be explosive, mate, and fun white last. But McKenna, was he 14-0, 13 KOs or something? You know, he's a serious fighter, so you would expect him to win that one. But like I say, it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, for sure. Spencer, as always, great to speak to you, mate. Top man, appreciate it, mate. Take care, mate. Top man.